Constellations. Hey, what is going on everyone? Today I am excited to bring you guys another Genshin Impact character guide, this time for the CEO of GEO, who will have order, Zhongli. I'm sure a bunch of you guys have already summoned or are summoning him for his amazing elemental burst. It's such a clean animation, and his Jade Shield, which is just impossible to penetrate. Anyways, Zhongli is pretty free to play friendly, and in this guide we're going to be going over his kit, his best weapons, his best artifacts for all his different playstyles, and lastly we're going to be going into how he fits into team comps, pretty much. If you're excited for the video, be sure to leave a like and enjoy. To kick things off, Zhongli is just an amazing specimen of a man. He is eye candy, but more important than that, let's look into Zhongli's kick. There is one ability that makes Zhongli a god tier support, and that is his elemental skill, Dominus Lapidus. Zhongli's skill has two different functions, a press and a hold. When you press the elemental skill, he summons a stone steel that deals some AoE geo damage and can resonate with other geo structures such as the Travelers to increase the AoE in which the geo damage can be dealt. When the skill is held, you get the press effect, but also get the thick Jade Shield that Zhongli is known for, which also has both elemental and physical resistance shred. While Zhongli's skill is amazing, so is his burst. Planet Befall summons a giant meteor with an awesome animation that deals massive AoE geo damage and petrifies enemies for a short amount of time. As for the order, you want to upgrade Zhongli's talents. It depends on your playstyle. If your Zhongli is more focused on shielding and amplifying other units, upgrade your elemental skill, then his burst. This allows your Zhongli to have as much shield potential as possible, and secondly, granting you some nice damage and petrification from his burst. If you want more of a Geo sub DPS Zhongli, upgrade his burst, then his elemental skill. This allows you to take advantage of the massive scaling on Zhongli's burst, and then focusing on some resonance damage. And lastly, if you want a physical carry, upgrade his auto attacks, and then you can equally upgrade his elemental skill and his meteor. This allows you to deal as much damage as possible from auto attacking while granting nice damage and shielding from his burst and elemental skill. Moving on to Zhongli's constellations, he really doesn't need them to fulfill his role. That being said, his constellations do improve his kit if you do want to snag them. C1 is nice, as it allows you to have another stone steel, opening up more opportunities for resonance damage. C2 grants Zhongli his shield after using his burst, which helps the uptime on your shield. C3 just upgrades his shield strength and resonance damage. C4 buffs Zhongli's burst by giving it 20% more AoE and granting 2 more seconds of petrification, providing better CC. C5 upgrades his burst talent, giving it much more damage and some petrification time. And lastly, C6, the double-edged sword that can make Zhongli unsuitable for some team comps and better in others. For example, Staff of Homa and Hu Tao users stay away from this constellation. Again, Zhongli does not need these constellations, although they are nice. I only recommend constellations if you really love this man Zhongli and have some extra primos to throw his way. One of the best things about Zhongli is that his weapon choice, despite having many different playstyles, are fairly consistent across the board. Starting with a Zhongli that is not a physical carry, the Staff of Homa and the Jadewing Spear are going to be your best options. Homa is the best as it outdamages Jade Spear in terms of max damage potentials, and Homa gives a great base attack stat with a huge crit damage substat to top it off, gives you more HP and an attack bonus for your overall HP, and if you're below 50% HP, that attack bonus is increased. The Jade Spear is another great option with the highest spear base attack in the game and giving you some solid crit rate. The passive on the Jadewing Spear isn't as good as the Homa's passive, but it can help in some situations since it does increase your damage dealt upon damaging enemies. Other 5-star options are also good on Zhongli, such as the Vortex Vanquisher, which is his lore and signature weapon, as well as the Skyward Spine, which is good for spamming his burst. For the 4-star weapons, the Lithic Spear is a solid choice, especially if you have leeway characters on your team. Lithic Spear will give you a great base attack stat for a 4-star weapon, a solid attack percent substat, and a passive which gives both crit and attack percent for every party member hailing from leeway. With refinements, such as my R5 right here, and more party members from leeway, this weapon gets very strong and can even outdamage some 5-star weapons. As always, both the Deathmatch and the Black Cliff are great options, as one increases crit rate and the other boosts your crit damage, allowing you to boost your crit stats, which is always nice for increasing your Zhongli's overall damage. One last 4-star I want to mention is the good old Favonius Lance that you probably don't use on anybody. The Favonius Lance is surprisingly good for Zhongli, as it has great base attack for a 4-star weapon. The damage is not amazing, and it's pretty alright, but the supporting capabilities are there, especially for generating energy. The substat is energy recharge, which is good to build up Zhongli's elemental burst, but the passive will give you neutral particles every time Zhongli hits a crit. That includes the resonance from his pillar. One last weapon for non-physical carry Zhongli that is super free-to-play friendly and only strengthens your shield is the Black Tassel, which yes is a 3-star weapon. Not the best attack by no means, but the substat can give you up to 46.9% HP, which is the most any spear in the game can give you. For example, my R5 Homa only gives me 40% HP. The Black Tassel, well, it gets to like 46.9% HP, which is more. So this will give you the thickest shield in the game. Moving on to the weapons for physical carry Zhongli, the best weapon is a free-to-play weapon that you should all be well aware of, and that is the Crescent Pike. As we all know by now, Crescent Pike has a good base attack, a physical damage substat, and a passive that greatly increases your auto attacks after picking up energy particles. Two other weapons that I already mentioned but are also great for physical Zhongli are the Staff of Homa and the Jade Wing Spear. On average, both these spears do deal less damage than the Crescent Pike, especially if your Crescent Pike has refinements. Vortex Vanquisher also is not too bad, as Zhongli can fully utilize its ability since he generates his own shield, but it still has less damage than the likes of the Crescent Pike, Homa, and Jade Spear. For some more 4-star options, you have the Lithic Spear again. You also have the Deathmatch, as well as the Black Cliff Pole for the previously mentioned reasons. Time for everyone's favorite part of the guide, and that is the artifact section. Starting off with Zhongli's artifact sets. For Amplifier, support Zhongli's, those who just tried to buff and shield their team, you want to use one of the following sets. Either the 4-piece Tenacity or the 4-piece Noblesse, but only use 4-piece Noblesse if you don't already have a 4-piece Noblesse user in your party. 4-piece Tenacity will not only buff your shield strength, but will also buff the damage of your party, which is similar to the 4-piece Noblesse, which will boost your burst damage and also buff your party's damage. If you aim to have more of a Geo sub DPS Zhongli, then you can use 2-piece Noblesse for increased burst damage and 2-piece Archaic Petra for increased Geo damage. And lastly, for physical carry Zhongli, there are 3 viable sets, with the first 2 being the stronger of the 3. There's the 4-piece Pale Flame that increases physical damage by 25% and increases attack percent by 9% when your elemental skill does damage to enemies. This effect can stack up to 2 times, and when it is stacked up to the max of 2 times, the whole effect is increased by 100%. There's also the 2-piece Pale Flame and the 2-piece Bloodstain, which will increase physical damage by 50% in total. And lastly, the 4-piece Gladiator set that will increase your attack percent by 18% and deal 35% more damage on normal attacks. For the main stats on your Zhongli's artifacts, it again depends on your playstyle. For any Zhongli's that are just trying to buff or shield their team, have HP percent all around on your artifacts. For Zhongli's that want a solid shield but some more damage, there are 2 paths that you can take. HP percent on your timepiece, Geo damage on your goblet, and either HP percent or a crit stat on your circlet. If you want a pure Geo sub DPS Zhongli, you want to maximize his Geo damage, which can be done by having an HP percent or attack percent timepiece. HP will give a little less damage, but a stronger shield, and attack percent will give more damage. And you want a Geo damage goblet, and again, a crit stat circlet. And lastly, for any physical carry Zhongli's, you want to have either attack percent or HP percent on your timepiece, depending if you want more shield strength or slightly more attack. I'd choose whatever has better substats. To make that decision, I would personally choose whatever timepiece had better substats. And then for your goblet, you're going to want physical damage. And lastly, you're going to want a crit stat circlet. For Zhongli's artifact substats, personally, I look for crit stats, then HP percent, attack percent, then energy recharge. That being said, get substats that support your Zhongli's individual build. For example, if you have energy problems, get some more energy recharge. If you have a weak shield, target some more HP percent in your substats. And if you want some more damage, obviously, go for either the crit stats or attack percent. Now, where does Zhongli fit into team comps? Well, support Zhonglis are very versatile units and can almost fill any spot on a team if there's space. He's great at keeping teams alive even at low health. And yes, I'm looking at those Hu Tao teams, and he stops attack interruptions, which is helpful, especially in those Zhao teams. His Geo Element is also great, as this enables you to unlock the super strong Geo Resonance, which will increase shield strength and damage dealt when protected by a shield. Also, if you end up getting Geo Resonance on your teams, you can start taking advantage of Zhongli's Geo Resonance damage by placing Geo structures around his stone steel to expand the radius of the resonance, increasing your team's overall damage and potentially buffing them if you have 4-piece tenacity equipped. If you have physical carry Zhongli, the same resonance damage can be done. However, Zhongli becomes a lot less versatile as he becomes the main damage dealer on your team. Some tips when building physical carry Zhongli teams are to aim for Geo Resonance and even Pyro Resonance just to boost his damage. With Geo Resonance, you open the door to more resonance damage, as I said earlier, and with Pyro Resonance, you can use Bennett for his insane buff and also use Shangling for her crazy support damage and Pepper from Goba that will increase your attack percent by 10. Also, if you can fit it, Superconduct with Fischl and Kaya, for example, can help your damage as Superconduct decreases physical resistance, thus boosting physical damage for Zhongli. One last tip is to try fitting in sub DPS characters that attack with Zhongli's auto attack, such as Xingqiu with his burst and C6 Fischl, as they can shoot out projectiles super fast that keep up with Zhongli's crazy attack speed. Alright, this is Kono Spen's post-recording. I forgot to mention this, but instead of using Traveler, Albedo, anybody who puts a Geo structure to get your Geo Resonance and the resonance damage from Zhongli's Pillar, you can use Yunjian. That'll still give you Geo Resonance, but it'll also boost your auto attack damage. This is really good for physical Zhongli teams because your auto attacks damage is just through the roof. And that's going to be pretty much all there is to the guide. As always, if there's anything I missed or anything you want to ask me, it'll be in the comments below. If you enjoyed the guide, leave a like, share it to your friends. It would certainly help a lot. If you want to see more guides, subscribe to the channel. You'll be the first to see them if you put on notifications. And yeah, that's enough of the shameless plugging. Have a good day and peace.